Changing Expectations. Written by Keiki Slider. Chapter 9. Say There.
Now, to cast the Ice Spear spell, you must imagine a hole in your surroundings, devoid of heat and energy. Then you must fill that void using your mana, channeling through your horn.
I rubbed my eyes.
We've been at this for at least 2 hours now. I think we are done for the day.
Okay,
Katydid said, following my example.
you did a good job today. You are knocking these spells out quicker than any nymph I know. I mean, of course you are, Your Highness.
1 week of lessons, and Officer Katydid still was as unsure of himself as ever. I have to admit, changelings are kind of cute, especially when they shuffle their hooves like Katydid is. I probably looked even more adorable with my shorter proportions.
Thank you for tutoring me.
I said the now well-practiced goodbye.
It was my honor, my prince.
Katydid responds as usual. However, before I retired to my room, I had a few questions I've been meaning to ask. I stopped him in the hall.
Officer Katydid, I have been wondering, how come I do not have any siblings?
Katydid frowned.
Oh, that. Yeah, well, changelings only lay 1 egg at a time, so...
No, I know that. But why hasn't my mother had any nymphs before me?
I had a suspicion I knew the answer to this, and that Katydid didn't. Katy didn't. Apparently I'm not too tired for horrible puns today. Katydid looked around and shifted uncomfortably on his hooves. Still adorable.
She most likely has had princesses and princesses before you. I wouldn't know, my prince. Perhaps you should ask Queen
If
Chris-
I had siblings born before me, where are they? Changeling royals are ageless, so wouldn't they be here?
Katydid failed to hide a sigh.
I really don't
I
know.
checked the weave. There's nothing on my brothers and sisters.
Come on, take the bite.
Well, that would be because any old information is removed from the weave and stored physically.
I looked at him expectantly. When he didn't continue, I pressed further.
Physically?
Here, fishy fishy. Katydid gave me a smile, most likely thinking I was an adorable nymph pestering him with questions, as is tradition for all children.
Yes, in the vault.
We got a live one.
A vault? That sounds cool. I want to see it.
I added a grin for good measure. If I could, I would have made my eyes twinkle. He shook his head.
It's all the way down at the bottom of the hive, just above the underground layers. Until you can fly, I'm afraid there's no way you can go down there. Even so, the vault is sealed.
Sealed? Then how do changelings put information in it?
These are good questions for the queen. She is the only one who opens it, no one else.
I got enough answers. Best not push my luck here.
Oh, well, thank you, Katydid. I look forward to our next lessons.
I also look forward to them. Good night, my prince.
He said with a wave that I returned. So, all information is stored in this vault, down near the center of the hive, and only Queen Chrysalis can enter. That certainly is going to make things difficult in the future.
Good morning, Prince Phasma.
Good morning, Queen Chrysalis.
I have some good news. Since you have been so diligent the past week and a half, today we'll begin learning shape-shifting spells. You have displayed a satisfactory level of knowledge in the outside world. So, it is time for you to learn what it is to be a changeling.
I perked up, learning the inner workings of the hive, as well as how we interact with the rest of the world.
Yes, you are ready.
Chrysalis noticed my surprised face.
The most important tool in a changeling's arsenal is subterfuge. Deceiving ponies, as well as other species you encounter, will be key to keeping the hive safe. I will cover the theories, protocols, strategies, and goals of being an infiltrator. However, knowledge will only carry you so far. You will attend infiltration classes with the drones. I know you will be on your best behavior.
Of course, Mother.
I couldn't believe it. This is too good to be true.
Being in this class will mean that you will be with the NIP drones of the hive. So first, we will begin lessons on how to act as a changeling royal.
I stifled a groan. There's the catch. However, I could bear tedious lessons on manners if it meant being in contact with more changelings, and more importantly, learning infiltration. I am finally beginning lessons on entering the outside world. Chrysalis's lessons on how to be a prince differed greatly from what I expected a noble would have to learn. Instead of learning the difference between soup spoons and flower arrangements, I learned far more practical things. Things like deflecting blame, accepting no insult or shame, and how to get away with making mistakes. Standard politician stuff. Now, since I was an adult already, I know how to do these things. But still, learning a few tricks from old Chrissy would not go unappreciated. This does mean that she expects me to be an even higher level of unparalleled excellence, though. It seems with each new lesson, the bar set for me gets raised higher and higher. Now, I can't rely on cute looks, being royal, and my young age when I make mistakes. I'm still going to abuse those three as much as I can, but I think Chrysalis will be paying even closer attention to my behavior. And since I will be with other nymphs, I am expected to be a paragon of virtue, at least look the part. Chrysalis made the distinction very clear. In the hive, I obey the rules. Outside the hive, I disregard the pony's laws when needed. In addition to lessons and manners, I was also being taught how to rule. As a second in command, of course. Don't want me to have illusions that I will ever be in charge of the hive, after all. These lessons cover topics such as giving orders to drones, following all of Queen Chrysalis's orders, accepting no insubordination, examples of punishments to give to drones, ranging from exile to execution, and managing the resource allocation of a city with a population in the thousands. I admit, that one really lost me. Apparently, being a changeling ruler meant that you had to control the entire economy from the top down. Sounds like Soviet socialism to me, but I can't explain the negatives to Chrysalis. I am only a month and a half old or so. Who am I to know the nuances of macroeconomics? Besides, it seems that the system in place was created in response to the growing famine problem the hive was facing. There was probably a good reason why it is run the way it is. Probably. All this was in addition to my lessons on politics, spell theory, practicing spells, language lessons, and a bit of math and science. To accommodate the new lessons in changeling rulership, management of a society, and the basics of infiltration, Chrysalis decided to extend my lessons earlier into the morning. I wasn't a larva anymore, and that means my days of sleeping half the day away are long past. And still not a single piece of paper in sight. Studying for verbal exams is damn near impossible when you can't even take notes. All my ideas for acquiring information on my siblings, or their suspected whereabouts, has fallen wayside. I just didn't have time to pursue anything. And she considered these lessons good news? I can't believe I was even excited for this. The days were blurring together. Wake up, eat, go to lessons with mother until the late afternoon, practice what Katie did, go to my room, stay up late trying to go over the new material I learned, maybe study for an upcoming exam, then sleep for the few hours I had left in the night. If I had any dreams, then they were nonsensical ramblings, usually involving the moon or insects. Then repeat, over and over. I knew I couldn't keep this up forever, but that's exactly what I had to do. Chrysalis was going over the latest report from Canterlot. The new infiltration team put in place in the unicorn-dominated city had yielded far more value than she ever realized. The information, bits, and material smuggled out of the city made her wonder why it was even protocol to avoid the lavish mountaintop city. A stray thought of its ruler reminded her of why. She placed the papers back down onto her desk when her door opened and Phasma stepped in.
Good morning, Prince Phasma.
Good morning, Queen Chrysalis.
He mumbled. Chrysalis recalled today's lessons. Ah, yes. The political structure of Princess Celestia's upper court, infiltration, Laughing Newt's 3 laws of motion, adverbs, the political structure of Queen Chrysalis's upper court, and tapping into the disguise spells that changelings have an innate affinity for. Not light material, but Prince Phasma has proven himself more than capable of handling this. Phasma already finished with mathematics. He seemed to take to that better than any changeling she knew.
Let's start the exam with Celestia's court. Name the positions and their duties of office.
She leaned forward to listen to the prince. In fact, this information was new to her as well, having come from a report hoofed to her last week. Phasma looked up and thought, eyes closed.
The Minister of the Interior is in charge of herding cats. Nobles. The Secretary of Court is in charge of organizing the Royal Court. The Chief of Staff is in charge of everything related to the palace and the Crown Lands. The Captain is in charge of the Royal Guard, as well as nominally in charge of the Border Guard and the Navy. I think the Adjudicator was in charge of the courts.
When Phasma opened his eyes to look back at Chrysalis, she looked at him pointedly.
Laws. Finance.
Yes. The Treasurer is in charge of monetary policies, and the Magistrate is in charge of making the laws.
The Magistrate does not write the laws, Prince Phasma.
I knew that.
Chrysalis sighed.
I'm certain you will do better on the quiz on my court, Prince Phasma.
At that, Phasma looked down at the ground dejectedly. To segue to the next lesson, Chrysalis stepped out from behind her desk and lifted Phasma's chin up with a hoof.
When you're out in the field, you need to cover the gaps in your knowledge better. You will encounter unexpected information, and you must remain calm in control of the conversation.
She gave him a smile.
I demand excellence because I know you are capable of it. Now, on to formulating fake identities.
In the back of her mind, Chrysalis was wondering if Phasma just lacked the incentives to try his hardest. Changing Expectations, written by Kiki Slider. Chapter 10, Mott. Chrysalis is smiling at me again. I don't think anyone is brave enough, or stupid enough, to tell her that her smiles are as creepy as fuck. Self-preservation and all that.
Prince Phasma, you have been working hard at your studies.
But I failed yesterday's first exam.
I do my best, Queen Chrysalis.
She nodded.
I know, which is why I had secured a luxury for your efforts.
At this point, I'm expecting her to give me a slave or something equally horrible. She brings over a jar from her desk. I can hear whispers coming from it.
I don't know. With you, though. I need you, my love.
No, it couldn't be. There's going to be an awful catch to this. Okay, which puppy am I going to have to strangle? I closed my mouth before I drooled. I don't even know when I opened it in the first place.
With hard work comes rewards that make it worth it. You might not have realized what you are working for, so I shall enlighten you. You will be my second in command of the changeling race, and together we shall bring an end to the miseries that have befallen our people. Prince Phasma, you will be the key to the fall of Equestria, and with it, you will bring the Hive an unlimited supply of love. Enough not just for us, but for every drone that bows to us. No more rationing, no more hiding. This is what we are working towards. This is a goal worth fighting for.
She's buying my loyalty with pure love!
I do as you command, Mother.
I can't even take my eyes off the jar. No matter how hard I try, I can't stop staring.
I need more than a mindless drone, Prince Phasma. I need a commander, a war master who will bring ruin upon my enemies. You are more than a weapon. You are Prince Phasma today of the Fourth Hive Dynasty. Princess Celestia should come to fear your very name.
I will not fail.
No, you won't.
With that, she uncaps the jar and hoofs it over to me, and I take it up in my magic. My magic had shifted over to a light orange hue from the changeling green, shortly after starting magic lessons. I could hear the whispers much clearer now that the love was so close. Oh, by the 9, I have missed this. I was in my room, standing at my open, empty chest, staring at it, staring through it. Should I? Ah! I growl and shake my head. No, one thing is clear. I need to find out what happened to those who came before me. I will not just be a footnote in changing history. Or worse, scrubbed from it entirely. If she had a hoof in their possible demise, then I am in danger. She could very easily dispose of me when we are victorious. I felt uncomfortable and sweaty. I wanted to vomit. She's got me like a dog on a leash. I am a fucking drug addict, and she holds a monopoly on the supply. I began to pace the room. I doubt there is any possible way I could secure a supply of love outside of her directly, which means I have to play nice and follow orders. I will do whatever she says until I can get the truth. I remembered that tomorrow, I will meet other changelings outside of Officer Katydid for the first time. Allies, resources, information. I cannot make bricks without clay. If I am worrying over nothing, then tomorrow will pass by unremembered to all but those in the class. But if she killed her offspring before me, then what I set in motion tomorrow will be the end of Queen Chrysalis, ruler of the 4th Hive Dynasty. As it is woven, so it shall be. A loud knocking on the door woke me up.
Prince Phasma, it's time to wake up.
Came a muffled voice on the other side. I eloquently reply and turn over in my bed to face away from the door. Heedless of my stern warning to not wake me up, the door opens and Chamberlain Eucharis moves into the doorway.
Prince Phasma, it is time for you to attend infiltration class. Every damn day.
The Chamberlain then tilts his head forward and shoots out a firework illusion spell into the room. The immediate bang and flash of light sends me shooting off of my bed. He repeats himself.
Prince Phasma, it is time to wake up.
With that, he steps back and closes the door behind him. I groan and rub my eyes. This was not a fun way of waking up, but after sleeping past the start of just a single lesson, Chrysalis arranged for the Chamberlain to make sure that I was awake on time. They really need to invent alarms.
Queen Chrysalis, it is time to wake up.
I stood up and stretched, producing a series of satisfying pops. Today is the first day I will see changelings that are not my mother, military, or the 2 brood nurses from so long ago. First impressions are everything. I lamented the lack of a mirror to make myself presentable. I would ask Chrysalis to see if she can procure one, but let's be honest, what could I even do? I don't get bedheads since Chrysalis is the only changeling with hair. I can't brush my teeth since toothpaste hasn't been invented yet. Or maybe it has and there just isn't any in the hive? I open my door and step out into the hall, waiting for the Chamberlain. Currently, he is closing the door to Chrysalis's personal bedchamber, cutting off a particularly nasty string of curses.
Get back here, you chars! You scatterbrain collaborating imbecile!
He turned around and walked up to me.
Are you ready, my prince?
Whoever invented mornings needs to be hanged, drawn, and quartered.
Ignoring my ramblings and opening the door to the throne room, Eucharis led the way out of the royal wing of the hive. We walked past the throne room and into the Grand Hall. I hadn't seen the Grand Hall since I first arrived in the upper echelon of the main hive spire. In fact, I had forgotten the existence of the hive outside of the throne room, which I only caught occasional glimpses of. I followed Eucharis as we descended a few staircases down into the hive proper. Yet again, I was met with the spectacle of changelings stopping, staring, and bowing. Only this time, they're bowing to me, the prince. There was a lot more staring going on than when the queen first took me up. A few changelings even gasped when they saw me, then ran off to tell their coworkers or friends that the prince was walking through the halls for the first time. I felt my face heat up despite changelings being unable to blush through solid chitin. I wanted to stop being a public spectacle as soon as possible. Being told that I would be looked up to and have my every action scrutinized is one thing, Experiencing it firsthoof is entirely another. I could claim that I would be fine all I wanted. The truth was another matter. I was not subject to being the center of attention for too long, thankfully, as we soon stopped halfway down a large, busy corridor in front of a door. A sign above the door read Classroom 431 in Equish. Chamberlain Eucharis looked to me and grinned.
Here we are, my prince. I will be here to escort you back to your chambers once class is finished.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
We stood there a long moment before Eucharis spoke up.
Your class is inside, Prince Phasma.
Yes, I'm getting to that.
But before I could use my magic to open the door, Eucharis leaned over to me and whispered into my ear.
Don't worry, my prince. Everyone was anxious during their first day of school.
So basically I'm acting like a child. Get your shit together, Phasma. You're not 6 years old.
Thank you, Eucharis.
I said quietly. Then, I opened the door to the first changelings I would meet outside of the royal court.